Hello and welcome to Critical Penetrator. Today we are going to look at how to build a fleet for the United Colonies of Mankind in Dropfleet Commander. This is going to take you from a core box purchase or perhaps one of the starter sets, have a look at what ships we want to build from that and how to start building a core of a fleet, and going on from there, what purchases might be advisable and what ship types from those purchases might be great to build to add to your forces. And this is aimed at new players, but if you are a veteran player of the game, if you're someone that plays the UCM or plays against them regularly, please leave your comments down below and let the new players to this faction know what ships and what classes that you would like to see on the table. Without further ado, let's get started with the core box. Okay, so we're just going to get straight into it then and talk about what you're going to build from this core box. The first thing needed is going to be a San Francisco dropship. Now, this is a cruiser and it's going to be one of the staples of your army going forward. Alongside this, we're going to have two New Orleans strike carriers, and they are also going to be part of the drop element of this box. And this is really quite necessary to be built because you don't have anything that can drop troops at this current moment in time. And so these three ships are the first things that you're going to build out of this core set. Now, after that, two other frigates we're going to build into Lima detector ships. Now, these are a real pain in the bum for everyone else that's not the UCM. So yeah, they're really interesting little ships. You know, they die quite quickly once they take some fire, but they're stealthy enough that they can try and avoid being detected from other craft, and they can detect other things with an infinite range. So they can look at another ship so long as they have line of sight to it and put spikes on them. This is a really fantastic ability, and it's something the UCM does have access to on a few different vessels. And it's something which in these early games is really quite a big bonus to you, and so you're going to want to build and take them. They are a pain in the bum for me. Okay, so that is going to be your core box worth of frigates. If you have the core set, so you've got the two-player starter set, you're going to have another two frigates. Now, I suggest building something which is going to do a little bit of damage and fight other frigates, other light ships, or build yourself another couple of New Orleans strike craft for more drop-in options. Beyond that, you're going to have another two cruisers, and there's quite a lot of different ship classes you can build out of these cruisers. Something I'm going to recommend is to build something which can release fighters and bombers. So I'm going to recommend the Seattle because that adds this element to your army, your force, which you don't currently have. And you want to play in the assets because fighters and bombers are really quite important. Bombers especially can be incredibly deadly. And fighters are the counterplay to the bombers. They can help to destroy them and help deflect your shots from coming in onto your ships. The last cruiser, my recommendation, is either going to be a Vilnius or a Warsaw. The reason why I'm recommending these ships is because these are essentially damage dealers. They're the things that are going to be destroying stuff. And you need some of this because apart from these two ships, or one of these two ships, we haven't really built a lot of stuff with a lot of guns yet, which is in the core set. So yeah, the Vilnius is a ton of mass drivers, all kinetic weaponry. It's really interesting and cool. I've played against them quite a few times now. The Warsaw, equally, it's got some interesting laser weaponry. Quite powerful, really, for a cruiser, and it can kind of punch up into other things as well. So that's really what you're going to be looking to build out of the core box. So at the end, you're going to end up with enough stuff to be dropping. You're going to end up with being able to release fighters and bombers, and you're going to end up with a brawler cruiser, which is going to take on other things and start destroying parts of the opposing enemy's fleet. Okay, so we have built the core box, and now what are we going to look to build afterwards? So at this point, really, for the UCM, you've got a couple of options. You can buy yourself another core box, or one of the battle groups, which contains the core box. This is quite a good expansion, albeit a little bit more boring, because you are going to need some more cruisers to fill out your army and do some different jobs with your force. However, You can now also just buy yourself one of the battle cruiser boxes, which has 2 ships in, or you can buy yourself a single battleship. Now, the battleship comes in the battle group, so this might be a perfect time for you to buy the battle group if you've built and painted and played a couple of games with your core box and you know you want to expand. The UCM have quite a really good selection of ships, to be honest with you. The light ships are really interesting. Some of the cutters and the destroyer style ships, they're really interesting. We have got a lot of different cruisers which are also performing different roles, and they're also quite interesting. However, what I'm going to suggest is that you look at a command ship style ship. So what this is a vessel that has the command ship X special rule. Now, this is in both the battle cruiser and the battleship box, and so you can get them from either. And I would going to recommend either the Venice or the Rotterdam from the battle cruiser box to fill this role. The Venice is a lighter of the two, so the Rotterdam is a heavier ship. And the reason why I'm recommending this is because it's a cool part of how the UCM are, I believe. These ships give you additional benefits, additional bonuses that you can spend your action points on during the game, and they're unique to these ships. So if your admiral is on the ship, he's going to gain access to these abilities. It's quite interesting, and you know, it's just a core of how the UCM are playing with this sort of militaristic structure within their lore. If you don't want the battle cruiser and you're going to look at the battleship, there's so much to talk about with the battleships. To keep it really quite succinct and sort of tight for new players, I would suggest the Thebes, because it's a big heavy ship, it does a lot of things, and it's got a few guns on it, and it can do lots, it can do everything. It's just a big old jack of all trades sort of ship. It's quite a few points, and you know, it's a big ship, a big fun model for you to build and paint and get on the table. Veteran players at this point, please, if you're watching this far into the video, put down in the comments things, when you play in UCM, what do you always take in your lists? Are you smashing out loads of the destroyers? Are you always taking loads of you know, cruisers or battle cruisers? And how do you find the dreadnoughts within the game? I know we usually call the London the Tony Blair here, because the joke is it's looking for its weapons. Obviously it has quite a lot of weapons on it. So yes, that is pretty much everything I have to say about the UCM. I play against the UCM a lot, and they can always turn up with a lot of new ships and new tricks and bits and bobs, which once they've got a fleshed out fleet of, you know, 2,000, 2,500 points, when you're playing 1,500 point games, it gives you loads of utility to completely change up how you play. You know, I can play against my friend and he'll bring all mass drivers. I can play against my friend the next game and he'll bring loads of burn through energy weapons. And it just depends on what he's feeling on the day. And you know, the amount of ships he has built in the configuration. So yeah, it's a really great force. It's great for people who are looking to get into this game because it can do so much. It has great bombers, it has great fighters. You know, they're not as bad as Shaltari, let's be honest, but yeah, they're right in the range of being quite good. Torpedoes are fine. The medium torpedoes, I mean, it's just basically a heavy torpedo really, but yeah, it's really like brutal weapon. So yeah, they do have access to a lot of stuff, which yeah, it's a lot of tools in your toolbox, let's say, for this faction. I hope you enjoy this video. These take quite a long time for me to research, obviously, because I don't play these factions. I have to try and get into, speak to people, understand the faction, have a little play against them and stuff. So yeah, so if you enjoy the video, please subscribe to my channel and give us a like, and maybe share us about to other people who are looking to play the UCM. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, the Shaltarian Scourge will be coming up next. Thank you and goodbye.